Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello classmates. Hello everyone. Before I begin, I want to introduce myself. I'm Siti Wulandari. I'm from class 2B Sarjana Keperawatan. So, what I want to do today is to talk about structure question in TOEFL. There is skill 4, skill 5, and skill 6. Basically, this talk is divided into two main parts. Firstly is about strategies for structure question in TOEFL, and secondly, I will be talking about skill 4, skill 5, and skill 6 for structure question in TOEFL. And my presentation will take about 15 minutes, so I hope you guys enjoy and listen carefully. Okay, as you can see here, there are strategies for structured question in TOEFL, and there are 5 things we need to know and do before we start. First, study the sentence. Your purpose is to determine what is needed to complete the sentence correctly. And number 2, study each answer based on how well it completes the sentence. Eliminate the answers that don't complete the sentence correctly. Number 3, don't try to eliminate incorrect answer by looking at the answer. The incorrect answers are generally correct by themselves. The incorrect answers are generally incorrect only when used to complete the sentence. Number 4, never leave any answer blank. Be sure to answer each question if you are unsure of the correct response. And last, number 5, don't spend too much time on the structured question. Be sure to leave adequate time for the written expression question. Okay, hope you guys understand, and remember, always follow every strategies. And let's now move on to another important part, skill for structured question in TOEFL. And if you look at the screen, you will see skill for past participle. And what is past participle? So a past participle often ends in ed, but there are also many irregular past participle. For many verbs, including ed verbs, the simple past and the past participle are the same and can be easily confused. The ed form of the verbs can be 1. The simple past, 2. The past participle of a verb, and 3. An adjective. Okay, for the example, the mailman has left a letter in the mailbox, where left is a verb. In the sentence, the past participle left is part of the verb. Why? Because it is accompanied by has. And a past participle is an adjective when it is not accompanied by some form of be or have. For the example, the letter left in the mailbox was for me, where left is adjective. In the sentence, left is an adjective rather than a verb because it is not accompanied by a form of be or have. Okay, and now the example of TOEFL question. The earliest medicine blah 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 from plants of various sorts. First, we need to analyze. Don't look the option. We need to analyze the sentence. Okay, the sentence above already has the subject. What is the subject? The subject is the earliest medicine. But in the sentence, there is no verb. And we look at the option. The best answer is, I think, is C. Why C? Because the word obtain is a part participle which function as verb of a verb, and were is a verb. Remember, we look at the verb. Okay, Why don't choose A? Because obtaining don't have to be. B and D, they have double subject. Okay? Okay, let's now move on to next slide. There is skill 5, coordinate connectors. So, when you have two clauses in an English sentences, you must connect the two sentences correctly. One way to connect two clauses is to use and, but, or, so, or yet between the clauses. For example, Brian is singing and Nikki is dancing. It was raining, but Bill went outside. What I'm trying to say is, in each of these sentences, there are two clauses that are correctly joined with a coordinate conjunction. And, but, or, so, or yet. And remember, use a comma. Okay? I will give you a good example. Okay. Oh, there is the table. Subject, it was raining. Verb, coordinate connector, but subject, Bill went out to play. And you can look in the table, there is comma. Remember, use a comma. Okay. For the example, a car has several sections with moving parts. Blah, blah, blah. Of this part is essential. Okay, remember, we should analyze. Don't look at the option. Analyze. In the sentence, okay, we should notice that there are two clauses. A car has several sections with moving parts, and of this part in essential. So the sentence needs a connection to join the two clauses. Okay, we can look at the option. Good and well is not connector. Remember, coordinate conjunction is and, but, or, so, or yet. Okay, and good and well is not connector. And then we can look at the option C and D, which have same connector, and. Okay, and I think the best answer is C. Why? Because the clause above is using coordinate connector and followed by the subject good lubrication. Good lubrication is a noun process. Good is an adjective and lubrication is a noun that is appropriate to stand as a subject. So the best answer is, yeah, C. Okay, this leads me to my last point, which is skill 6, adverb clause connectors. So, there are four main types of adverbs clauses, which is time, cause, contrast, and condition. Okay, first, time. Adverb clause of time, often called time clauses. Some common ones include before, after, since, while, and until. And I will give you a simple example. After I left work yesterday, we check out the new art market. We analyze that the time clause is after I left work yesterday. The subject is I, and the verb is left, and the main clause is we check out the new art market. The subject is we, and the verb is check out. And most adverb clauses keep the same meaning when the position of the adverb clause and main clause are changed in a sentence. Okay, next, cause. Cause, also called reason clauses. These adverb clauses show us the reason or cause for something and the main clause gives the result. Some common subordinating conjunctions are because, since, as, and so. And for your information, as and since clauses are used when the reason is already known to the listener, but as and since are somewhat formal. For everyday spoken English, we often replace those words with the conjunction so. And I will give you a simple example. One using since. Since it's sunny today, we can ride our bikes in the Central Park. And one using so. It's sunny today, so we can ride our bikes in Central Park. When we use a so clause to connect a cause to its result, the so clause must come second and not something else. The cause in a so clause doesn't contain the conjunction, so instead the main clause does. And next, condition. Condition, also called conditionals or if clauses, that many conditional clauses use conjunction other than if, such as unless, in case, and whether. And in very formal written English, the conjunction word and should often replace if, unless, contrast. Contrast, these adverb clauses present an unexpected result between the information in the adverb clause and main clause. Two other common conjunctions for contrast clauses are although and even though, which also mean despite the fact that. Okay, next slide. Nah, this is the example in TOEFL structure. A spacecraft is freed from friction, blah blah blah, launched into space. Okay, remember, analyze and then look at the option. There are two clauses to verbs, is freed and launch. And the sentence must have a connector to join two clauses. And then we can look at the option. The clause above is adverb clause, after. After is the connector and followed by the subject it. Okay, so we can look at the option C and D. C and D provide connectors. Remember, after the connector, there must be a subject and a verb. And then the best answer is, D. D is the best answer. After it is. Why? Because after is the connector and it is the subject. Okay, Alhamdulillah. This is my last presentation and the conclusion is, unless we have to know every skill, we are also too concerned with the strategy to make the TOEFL score perfectly. And I would like to say apologize for any mistake and thank you very much for your attention. And that's it for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.